Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Tuesday, the 28th of November. Well, let's get straight into it. So, the bet is, it's at 11p Hines. Basically, what I've done is I've got some left in my account and I've also got a £5 free bet with Sky Bet. So, I've looked at tomorrow's racing at Southwell and Sedgefield and it's disappointing, or poor should I say, but I've chosen some selections. So here are the selections, and I shall talk you briefly through them because it was about an hour ago when I picked them. So here we go. So the first selection is Coupe de Coeur at 11-2 in the 12:15 at Sedgefield. It's the third horse in the betting. The favourite should win the race, even with its penalty. It was by far the best performance of anything out of this race. The second favourite is vulnerable, and that's what we need because there's currently 8 runners, and it could go down to 7, and it might mean us having to fight the current second favourite for second place. I do think this horse, if the favourite doesn't run up to let's call it its mark, or it's got every chance of winning. Coupe de Coeur, I'm expecting it to lead, and it could be quite difficult to pass, especially on soft ground. Given what could be hopefully an easy lead, depending on what the two principals decide, the tactics they decide to run. But I think it could make them go. The rest of them are pretty much a poor lot. I was looking at the James Moffat trained horse by, is it Charlotte Jones, ridden by, and I thought, shall I give it another chance? But no, I've swayed for this one because it's got a bit of form. Even though it ran poorly last time, it still achieved the same racing post rating mark as the second favourite, which was 98. However, this horse doesn't carry a penalty, and the second favourite does because it won the race. So so basically it achieved exactly the same performance. But this time round, the second favourite carries a £7 penalty, and our selection doesn't. The second selection is Bring the Action at 8-1 in 1 at Southwell, paying 4 places instead of 3. I very nearly backed the outside of the lot in this race because I kept going from top to bottom, bottom to top, and I'm thinking there's massive doubts over every single one of them. So this horse, it's been disappointing, it's been inconsistent, but I think it's got the tongue strap and I believe it's cheek pieces back on. Well, it's done nothing without them and they're back on now. And it's got form in the past, early on last year, to comfortably win this race. But, as I said, it's been completely out of sorts. But the good thing is, at Southwell, it does suit front runners and they can be quite difficult to catch. So I'm thinking, with the tongue strap and cheek pieces reapplied, it always tends to be up with the pace anyway, or leading. I think it could make a lot of them go, and it's an absolutely dreadful race. The third selection is Ashington at 4-1 in the 120 at Sedgefield, playing 3 places instead of 2. I looked at this race after one of the subscribers mentioned a horse. Unfortunately, I can't fancy the horse that he actually gave or was looking at, but I can see an alternative. Although Prince Nino has got a chance, they've all got a chance because once again it's a poor race. There's question marks over all of them. The vast majority of them are doubtful stayers. Ashington, it actually ran over 3 mile too. It tends to race prominently. If you can race prominently and stay at Sedgefield, you've got every chance. So I think Ashington at 4-1 in the 120 at Sedgefield, paying 3 places instead of 2, has got a decent chance of definitely coming the first 2 in my opinion. But things can happen. The fourth selection is Coupe de Gold at 13-2 in the 220 at Sedgefield, paying 4 places instead of 3. The paying 4 places, it's 13-2, and this is definitely one of the more consistent horses. It's dropped to a very low mark now, and I've backed this loads of times in the past, and it's generally placed for me. I think I backed it at something like 22-1. I think I backed it in something like Newcastle or Doncaster, and it ran well for me. While I'm tipping it here, what you tend to find is, I think it's David Thompson, the trainer. You always seem to find that his horses get gambled. And I may be wrong, and I wish I'd never mentioned this now. I'm trying to think of the horse. I think he won at Catterick recently on the flat. and it's always gambled. I know David Allen rode it. I forgot completely what it is. Anyway, I wish I'd never mentioned it now. But yeah, Coupe de Gold, 13-2, first 4 at Sedgefield in the 220. The next selection is Ashjarn at 9-1 in the 250 at Sedgefield, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse has also got better form. It's been disappointing of late, and I think because it's a poor race, like I keep saying, like they all are, I think if it finds a bit of something, it's got every chance of reaching the frame at least, and they're paying first 4. And finally, Royal Max at 22-1 in the 10-3 at Southwell, paying 4 places instead of 3. Once again, a dreadful race. I've gone for this. It only ran 5 days ago. I believe they've got the cheap pieces on it this time, and I think it's tongue strap as well. And Charlie Todd takes the ride. I'm thinking that jockey may have reported that something wasn't quite right when it ran just 5 days ago, and maybe he said, "Give it another try." It didn't race properly. It was struggling from the beginning because I don't know, because there's a breathing problem. I don't know. I'm making that up. I'm trying to look for an angle where they decided that this horse is going to reappear after 5 days. As I said, it's a poor race, and I'm expecting this horse to also attempt to possibly try and make the run-in. So those are the selections for Tuesday. So it's 11 pence each way, Hines. So if you give me a like or a subscribe, that'd be absolutely great. 6.5 minutes in. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.